Rahul Gandhi chon India sarkar shroi tu te Twitter mangin na bei sak meya he thili ngai tua thui fe thamom tatlat megan en kol hian angai nam do na nia a Twitter hi patnin oma pakhat kan soi masang azo na masa chu operation sindur chungchang khan kan beidon ti Pakistan te kan thril masa hi crime ani dan bo chen lian takani India sarkarin government of India hian avashrit lok ngai ani ti hi external affairs minister point Mipuiten apom ateni kichon zona panhi siama tunge khamishil turkhan authorization phalna pe tin panina chonin khathil anshil awang khan thlawhna engzan nge India hian kan hlo ti kha aposa chuta aposa chuan external affairs minister Jaisankaran Pakistan te kan thil masa ti esoi na kha a video aron posa chuzukan play masa patang.
At the start of the operation, we had sent a message to Pakistan saying we are striking at terrorist infrastructure. We are not striking at the military. So the military has an option of standing out and not interfering in this process. They chose not to take that good advice.
So idan chuan kami operation kan nei ma khan India chuan Pakistan hena terrorist kem te kan be dona Pakistan military te omna kan be don lo ti kan shil loka khala ta kha Rahul Gandhi soi chun ta ni kan vashila ase an lo chan le na kha kan advice ang kha an pom lo ani atiani chuan Jaisankar khan Rahul Gandhi zo na kha engtin ma chanam lowa Modi hnen na tang pom lo nga tu ma hnen na tang dong lo ni ti chuan Rahul Gandhi chuan tweet dang ina ba be zui le ta a external affairs minister Jaisankar ngoi reng na hian he thil hi an tingei ti ashil fia chu meni lawa anin thiam lo ti lan tirani atia ti chon zo na kha azo non le tangata Indian aircraft kha thil an vashil lo gawang khan engzat nge kan chan ti kha zo na asiam non le a hei hi thil ti sol pal satli ani lawa crime ani India Mipuiten hian thutak hriat hi kan phu ni ti na bei sak ani he zo na hi Rahul Gandhi hi atong vai mai nge kan hriat lo hriat ani operation sindur chungchang kan news kan ngai thlau zong te hi ani taka chon a smooth clear meli somni pathum chuin engkem anti felveka Indian Air Force Navy le military te an thural takin thil a thlenga chuan terrorist roi tu te base mun sang an bom dara smooth view ani ma se Rahul Gandhi hian India sarkar beitlat opposition leader ani wangin arak mai nge kan hriat lo hria ti kha zona theya operation sindur zowa Pakistan chuan thu chon ron nei vele thak maya India thlawhna panga le drone pakhat kan kap thla a thlawhna panga jinga mi hi pathum chu rafa len ni anti le ta thak maya kha an tong vai mai nge an lo kap thla tak te kha hriat a harsa a India sarkar lamera chuan kha an kap threng reng lo ponti chung lova an kap thla lom ponti chung lo an ngoi top mai ni chuan Pakistan lampo evidence nasataka news media lamin an zo khan approve na an nei hle thei big chung lova social media tamalom an tim maya chumi chungchang chu tu na kan ron content tum chu ania India in engma an chan le chan lo an soi lova Pakistan in kan kap thla teu an ti sia July thu in chu te chu a omani amaro chu India lama hian trong sol pakhat kan nei tlat maya chu military statement lam nei trumin press conference kan ti domi khata zo na Indian Air Marshal ina achan na hi han ngai thataila
platforms including Rafale, I mean Pakistan claiming that Rafale has been downed, etc. Can you put that question to rest and clarify on that?
Kami zo na ka Rafale hi Pakistan lamin kan kap thlan ti a hemi chungchang hi soifiana ini them ti ania.
All right, I'm happy that you've asked this question. You know, we are in a combat scenario and losses are a part of combat.
Oh, khati te khan toi te khat aron pomta ania nga ti the ni a tuna hian kanin be me ka chuwang chuanin e tianga in be nai chuan lo then kha chu kan nei ve tur lom ti kha aron pomma ma se India in engi kan lo ti kha news a awang ani then chuan kan lo mu to mai the a then chuan in kan lo la hremi lo mai the keima po khan ko lo la reng lo me ya eng tin nge kan chui ta kang India in soi ani si lova Pakistan lamin por ro pui sia ne ta ka chon Pakistan lam han kan chak an ti ve de tlat me India lamin kan chak kan de bok sia khoi lang me chak kha hria ta har ta me ya India le Pakistan tang son thu tak tak hria ta har sa to do na chu wang chuanin pon lam media te kan la khom chinanga Reuters chuanin me ni ko khanin Pakistan lamina thlawhna panga an ka thlak thu le an soi kha an run soino na tin Chinese thlawhna 4.5 generation ho J10 ho kha an mang ti ron confirm boka ta chuanin an mani an confirm the china India thlawhna Rafale pahnih kha an kap thla ni Reuters hian ron soya tin Washington Post po hian ron zir chiangin Pakistan Reuters ne na soi kha ainang thadewa ma se India in hi apom thu soi lova apom lo thu po soi chong lo angoi ring meya ati kha soya tin an ma ni khan social media post trend khata khan an han zir chianga chu Rafale thlawhna masaber BS001 amei lama amei kan ti mai thlawhna mei kan ti meya a control tu mi thu in tar tla thalak ngei mei kha an han muchuaka atlak ra mun po akalia kalan tivel ni om tak ne ramri tanga kilometer som sari vel hala khakan confirm thu an soya tin hemi mun ba ka hen he ta Kashmir lama uyan khwa khan Miras 2000 ni om tak khamita thlala kha an confirm bok ni nan soya chuma chon India hen thlawhna pahnih Rafale pakhat le Miras 2000 pakhathi an chan nge ni ti kan confirm a adang chu kan threla ve ti kha an run soya chon heng thlawhna pahnih te hi French company Dassault Aviation te siamani a chu a thlawhna company a siam tu company po khan an tor ve thei tareng ani tin India tan po thilza thlak tak ani ve na lai kha oma chon Indian military strategy scholar pakhat Arjun report chon India sarkar hi hetiang operation chungchang thil thleng kim tak hi asoi du ngai lawa athuk ru na sa thina chuma chon thil tak tak hi hriat a har thina India hian azep tlat zelani atia ma tanga thil thlen dan tlang pui elo soi ni chu ni chon Indian Express chuan me ni sare khan post asiama Instagram a po chen chon ve nu la kha post khalo manga chu da chon akali khur ta khan jingdar ni vela riring takan thria chuan thil aron tla thlawhna eng amabung eng amokharon tla chu mi awang chuan pakhat athia mi pakwa an hliam bok ni in asoya chu Indian Express in asoi ni a comments lama chuanin fake lemani anti loma na se kha chui chen heta kan nei zel turangai la kichon rampon chanchin bu pani Reuters le Washington Post in thlawhna pahnih an confirm thun soya India Express chuanin pakhat aron soi ve ta tlat boka ti chon du tok ta photila YouTuber kan lutang YouTuber pakhat inside China business ti chuanin ama hi sapania pro China ve luthukania heta hianin India thlawhna tele Pakistan thlawhna India khan Rafale le Miras te khatiang hon man lai khan Pakistan ho chuan Chinese ho thlawhna J10 le F16 ten mang ti kha soya Pakistan ho Chinese thlawhna kha an chungnung le India thlawhna te hen chance pon nei lawani engtinge Pakistan ho nanun ka pa khoi tang local nge ti po an shet man lo khopin an chetra a India thlawhna te kha an che em mani ti kha soya maro chu ama kha Chinese ran ti kha kan shet ran khangaya ti chuan heta athu soi pakhat kan lak chu big tak chu Rafale siam tu company kha French company Dassault Aviation kan ti kha ni ta a Chinese J10 siam thlawhna siam tu company kha Chengdu company an ni a chu mi te chu stock exchange an che thaim ti kha thlir ta dei ni heta stock exchange lama kha na result kha awa chuya a soi dan chuan Chengdu kha stock price kha 40% in akang dora chuan Dassault Aviation chu 9.48 in an tla thung ateni omje chu India thlon khan tlak awangin an stock price po tla a Chinese thlawhna kha an chet thatha wangin Pakistan ho Chinese thlawhna an chet thatha wangin an stock price po a chhos dor ni atia khami kha ama thu soi kha chu varin ngo thar ka te ke ma ngein ka wache kanang mani pon google lo check ta ula in chudan turgan thilanga the salt aviation stock price ti kha han chekanga ta chonin 1 month ti te 6 months ti te 10 days 5 days ti ang chi te kha I option ro manga ta khan indu chonin enve therenga ta chon lo lang ta chu dot asoi che lo ni na langa the salt aviation share kha alo tlange meya tlem jong chu me ni sari nu kha chon lo tlave dia meya maro chu tuna chon tlem in ran chole to tin asoi ang nge khan J10 kha lo chove shet buka maset ta thlave deu hlek to kha indona bora khan French company stock price kha achet pha ve tlat mai ni India lam an chechia Rafale po chu an lo no la mi ti kha zo na om thei chu ni ta kha mi chin kha du tok le taila YouTuber pakhat YouTube content rang ka en atangin hepa hi erin tlak berin kan ria hi kan react big dona ama po YouTuber tho ne thu saite a boring em long chumo ani chunin about sites kha an thlir tangarangara lai takin ala ni te ponaranga tun ma a boina lo om to te an soi boka chuta soi chu sangni sompako khan pulwama hel ho terrorist ho chetna thlenga ta chon India mi le san boral nola ta chon Indian Air Force 10 Pakistan ram chung Pakistan occupied Kashmir chunga I Jaish Mohammed ho vel omna khating terrorist ho omna kha an vabomata chon Mirage 2000 manga atuka Pakistan hoin anrun be let velea Indian occupied Kashmir khan bomaron thlau velea Indian Air Force 10 an changle lea chuta chon thlawhna pahnin thon choka pakhatan chan ta ni atia chuta thlawhna pakhat jok pilot chu khami MP election changni som pakwa changni som ni bor nge MP election bor dona larta em te moimul ne kha apa kha lo ni ta ni ti chuan khapa po kha India anuwa India sarkar ne na pilot ka chu pek len ni ta ma se kha mi thlon an ka thak ni che khan Indian Air Defense System te chuan helicopter pakhat Indian military helicopter pakhat kha an defense system Indian Air Defense System ina musual akap thatel bok ti kha asoya ti chuan Pakistani ho report dan chuan sangni somni pakhatang sangni somni pali in kar khan Israel siam drone enge mozat Pakistan ramri bora hian ka thak ani bok ti an soya ti chuan Pakistan ho hian Chinese ho radar te khating ang kha an choluta India ramri khan an zar phar kola chuta an air defense system chu HQ9B ania chugan thriat thiam dan tur chuan Indian Air Defense System tuna chong khovela thabera ngai ni a S400 hi Russia siamanta S400 an siam ma che hen S300 an siama chumi system ang atluk pui chu Chinese hoin an copy paste ti tameng Chinese chu copy paste an lara kha HQ9B an siam ve a S300 luk pui ang ani chu Pakistan khan kha andalu chong vele ni ti ania India hian changni somni khan Rafale thlawhna somthum paruk zet mai a chaluta friends atangin amain India hian Mirage 2000 kha the salt aviation siam tho kha alo nei nol to boka chu Pakistan hopon F16 an nei thine US siam khami upgrade khan du ve a US dor zum talawin Chinese hon dor ta dei ni Chinese thlawhna J10 C kha somni panga ngot an leve boka an lei chan rang chu kan thilo na thil pakhat langta chu Rafale hi dollar makta do iza vel thlenga sang amanani theilai khan J10 hawero kha chu dollar makta do somli tanga somnga vel borani aman chan ve in tlem zoka Rafale pakhat man khan J10 pani an lei theiang vel ani tlatlat me ani chu Pakistan ho hian J10 an lei hian an leya an hon satya ni mai lawa China khan operate dan sang te combat exercise kha Chinese ho tenen an nei tlanga tin Indian Air Defense System S400 to na kan chuan deuh hi hi China hopon an leive tho Russia nen rang khan kami na tho dan ten zira tin heta Turkish hon roin rola Pakistan ho tenen khanin hing mo training ten nei ho to boka ni khata khan Rafale weak points ang chi Indian jet chuan for weak points te mani kha an lo zir ho to angai ani boka ti chuan thupuya khan lo tang Pahalgam thila lo thlenga India thinrima ta chuan operation sindur an lo thlenga India soina cho many somni pathum chungin terrorist hideout pakwa kha nganwaboma kan ti chia chuan afel fire kan zoba terrorist engam zat kan tilum ti kha India na thu soida nia ti khan filmai se chu atha ni me turani ma se atuka chuan Pakistanin kan kap thateu ron titani panga kan kap tha pathum chu Rafale ani ron ti a in Pakistan soida ni jet India jet somruk la in ron thok choka izon chung jinga somli chu Rafale an ni a chuan Pakistan thlo na tenen anin beya chu ta chuan India thlo na kha an kan kap tlanol ani ti kha an soi ani a chu arin tlakem ti kha zo na boka tin India lam khan chan le chan lo engman soi bok si lawa ta chuan social media thalak le video lar atang khan he YouTuber hianin zirchian na aron nei tani history legends ti channel ni to pakhan mo chu kanon reactor chu ni ole ilo en phota.
So how about we start looking at the evidence? We can confirm that at least 3 Indian aircraft were indeed shot down.
India thlawhna pathum an kap thlani ti chu kan confirm theya ati thatlat meya
2 in Indian Kashmir, more specifically in Wuyan and Akhnur,
o chungjinga pani chu Indian control Kashmir ania
and another in Akalya Kalan.
o akalle kalana khanin pakhat chu kan confirm thei bokani
So all 3 were destroyed within Indian-controlled territory. So let's start with the crown jewel of the Indian Air Force, the Rafale. It was reportedly shot down in Akalya Kalan, 75 kilometers from the India-Pakistan border.
o akalle kalana khan Pakistan le India border ranga kilometer samsari panga he thlon hi mu ania tia
After the crash, locals found pieces of the aircraft laying around. This part here with missile launcher written on it is part of a Mika air-to-air missile.
chu khalai akalle kalan bor vela cheng ho khanin until mu kha atha anron lanola chungzinga pakha chu Mika missile ani thu kha aron soya
However, both the Rafale and Mirage 2000 operate them.
kha missile kha Mirage le Rafale ten an phur thei ve ti kha soya
But then the video showed the missile pylon, which is exclusively used by the Rafale.
chuan thalak danga chuanin Rafale big atla ni ti chian tur pat kha mu ani le
Then in the morning came more images. Here laid a piece of the aircraft, identified as a Snecma M88 engine.
zinga chuanin thalak dang ron lang le ta chu Snecma M88 engine kha Rafale nan man big
Without a doubt, it was part of the Rafale.
kha Rafale pat ngei ani ti kha a chiang ta
And for those that are still skeptical, locals found part of the vertical stabilizer of a Rafale.
khatalaring hlel kanom chewani chuan atia hi vertical stabilizer anti thlona mei anti khamo khami kha hi a omle bok ateni
And not any Rafale. Tactical number BS-001. The first Rafale that India received from France.
India in France ne na tanga athona don masak ber ala ni nge ateni
Still not convinced? Check this out. It's not because it's on CNN that it's necessarily false, but here they reported a high-ranking French intelligence official told CNN today that one Rafale fighter jet operated by the Indian Air Force was downed by Pakistan.
cheu tan chuan hi ron posa French official pakhat chuan Pakistanin Rafale jet an kap thla ti kha an soi thu as aron soi bokani
How is it possible? Is it because the Rafale is trash, or because we should expect some losses in a modern conventional war setting? The Rafale's advanced spectro-electronic warfare system was considered highly effective.
Rafale in a electronic warfare ati thei hi sang hle nia soi ni lai khan
So the loss of such an aircraft felt like a real humiliation for French manufacturer Dassault.
Tia ati thei aro puiveo soi lai khan an kap tha ti khachu Dassault asiam2 company tan chonin thil pom shom tak ani ngei dona.
With that being said, that's the only visual confirmation of a destroyed Rafale. Where are the two others that Pakistan claimed to have shot down?
Kha Rafale ka thak thuwa confirm thei social media vela tanga an lak chho thei om chun chu ani a Pakistan in pathum lai kan kap kha an ti ro khachu approve na om to lo ni ateni.
The second wreckage was found in Akhnur, 15 kilometers from the line of contact.
Chuan pakhat chu Akhnur ani a kilometer ramri tanga kilometer som panga vel chawla oma.
Here we can see the crash site, and apparently the two pilots made it out alive.
Tuna kan mukha a accident na munani a pilot tero chu andam chuaka tia.
We can identify part of the ejection seat. According to analysts, it appears to be a K-36DM ejection seat, which is standard on the MiG-29. However, it's also standard on the Su-30 MKI.
Heta a seat tlarang thalak om hi K-36DM ejection seat ani a chu MiG-29 le Su-30 MKI te hianin an mang ve a.
So it could either be a MiG-29 or a Su-30.
Chuan MiG-29 mo Su-30 ka anime theini ateni.
Now it's important to note that the ejection seat was located about 50 kilometers from the crash site. So theoretically, we could be talking about two different aircraft.
Kang ejection seat te kha aircraft atlak na hun ranga kilometer som nga lai la na wangin thlawhna pahnih po anime thei ateni.
But for now, the consensus is that it's all part of one aircraft.
Chuan anilo pon thlawhna pakhat po chu ni thei tho tia.
According to the latest footage that was released from the crash site, we can see an AL-31FP engine in the wreckage, which was specifically designed for the Su-30 MKI.
Na chen muna video ron choka tang ka chuan Su-30 MKI engine ngei ni a alana wangin hei chu Rafale ni loin Su-30 MKI ni ngei a ring an din.
So there you go, we have our answer. The third confirmed Indian aircraft was shot down in Wuyan, 65 kilometers from the contact line.
Pathum na chu Wuyan khuwa ni a.
On the crash site, locals found a Snecma M53P2 engine, which can only be from an Indian Mirage 2000.
Chuan a thlalak atang anen chuan Snecma M33P2 engine ngei ni ranga chu Mirage 2000 chain amang ateni.
Those are the only Indian aircraft that we can visually confirm as destroyed at the moment. I think a lot of the confusion comes from parts of aircraft that have been spread out, or debris of other projectiles that locals thought were part of an aircraft. For example, we have evidence showing the booster section and nose cap of a BrahMos PJ-10 cruise missile. Now this BrahMos cruise missile can either be fired by ground launchers, but we also know that the Russian Su-30 MKI was specifically modified in order to be able to carry these BrahMos missiles.
Chuan BrahMos missile kami kha charani boka PJ-10 cruise missile kha chu le tanga ka thei ponia mase Su-30 MKI po khanin apai thei tho boka chu wan chonin I confirm thei che ne ro mase thlawhna dang kha ala ni thei na lai a oma te mase chu confirm har to ani atini tikhan kha hepa content country big chu kan du to kanga enga po ni ta se heta Washington Post na anzir che na tang le hepa zir na atang te po khanin Rafale pakhatal chu atla ni na lang ta a ti chuan I Su-30 le Mirage 2000 te po kha an lo tlang ngei te po ani erinum ta tibermeng hepa thusoi hi a genuine ang rangin ka shia Pakistan lam kha site chong la Pakistan hena an claim the hi chuti zat kan ka khla kha teng jong ka adik lo ni ti kharon proof treu thowa chuti line Indian eng man soi lowa an lo chan ngei ni ti po kha aron proof vele thoboka chong chon athula khi live view ni ka shia ti chuan atir berakan thusoi Rahul Gandhi thusoi kha le taila Rahul Gandhi kha atong vai mai nge kan thret lo ria ti kha han soi taila Mipuiten puina kan thret tur media ten an thuptlat India aircraft claim zong nge enge mozat chu antla ti kha chiang ta a pilot te chun dam chuak vek te pone me the a aircraft khap chu rafale phei chu dollar mak ta tu iza vel thleng manani the a pakhan man po tolu tu ka India sarkar hlo na lian pui ka ani ta shim shima chu wang chuanin khang ho zong kan chan na chan kha enge tika Rahul Gandhi soidan chuan external affairs ministerin indo don na kan va do tur kan va run tur te va hrit lok khan India poisa tam tak kan thlawhna thatak tak min hlo tirani atiani chuan Rahul Gandhi hi atong vai lo ni na lang ta tlata ti chuan keima question lom ta chu kan sarkar hi hlo na pakhat thein ka hria chu media an control na hianani media kan thil hriat tam tak hi puanzar that du lo le thup a nual ni na ranga kha hi sarkar tin an ti vek tho na a chu mizo Mipuiten pon kan hriat ve kha ngai ti kha han soi kan tumna ni ta sela a chan chu sarkarin Mipuiten ne na adu tok chin che hrila adu lo chin chu hrelo turimin do a meta khawang khanin kan hriat lo tur chin an duang angamin filter khan Mipuiten kha kai thle kol mai thei kan ni ti na ni ta a chu wang chuan heta kan soi thin fo mizo anga po nam tlem te kan ni a news a kan thil mu zong India Today te the print te ponianga a thena chuanin first post te WION te Indian Express te khang news zong Antenan Times of India te khateng zong kha the Hindu te pama khangena thu anron puan hi 90% te chu dik mana mara chu 100% in adik lem lo ti kha kan threat ve nga ya chumi chu kan news ngai thak pa pon kan ngai to veran thin kha angai ni za Bible jik ang shima e dok tur kha ani lem lo ni ti kha kan soi ve shim do ni ole khati zong kha ton tuma kan content ni sela top thlek min clear chak wain kan lo me